Good afternoon, good night, good evening, wherever you may be. I hope you're doing well. Funny story, actually. Um, Last night I was discussing, or well, talking with a Christian who said that they didn't believe that Islam allowed divorce. And they were pretty shocked to learn that, yes, in fact, Islam allows divorce for the men and the woman. Which is, to me, it's a little funny because I believe Christians to be the more extreme of the two religions in regards to divorce, as it's only allowed upon adultery. In the book of Matthew, Jesus says, "And I say unto you, whoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery." So Jesus says that you can't really divorce anybody except if you fornicate. Uh, Paul even seems to completely disallow divorce in Corinthians, but let's not get into that. I'm here to educate you guys or teach you guys about talaq in Islam, divorce in Islam. So let's get started. Let's get started. Okay, there we go. Talaq. What is it? How is it defined? Simply put, translated to mean divorce. Yes, the root has the connotation of letting go, leaving, sending out. The trilateral root طلق. Other words like أطلق, إطلاق, انطلق, um, أطلق النار, shoot fire, as in shoot your gun, or انطلق, set off. طلق, divorce. There we go. طلق, طلق, he divorced. طلقت, that's my dialect, but she divorced. Uh, so that's the meanings. They're pretty standard. طلاق, طلق means divorce. And here's the types of divorce. You have a talaq al-sunni and a talaq al-bid'i. Let's start with the Islamic divorce, the talaq al-sunni. It's in accordance with the Sharia. There is the implicit, the explicit, the revocable, and the irrevocable. An implicit divorce is when you say, hey, I have nothing to do with you, you have nothing to do with me, go off to your family, go back to your family. You're not saying, I divorce you, but it's implied, and that's a legal divorce. An explicit divorce is when you tell your wife, I divorce you, or vice versa, and that is the explicit divorce. That's a literal divorce, and you can go on with that. Most divorces are revocable unless you divorce 3 times. So you divorce, remarry, divorce, remarry, divorce. That's irrevocable unless she marries somebody else and consummates the marriage with him, and you marry her again. But that is considered irrevocable divorce. Next, we have a talaq al-bid'i, or which is the divorce of innovation, the innovated divorce, which is un-Islamic. In anger, under duress, and during the wife's period. These are all invalid. And of course, you have divorce according to non-Islamic standards, which is also not allowed. So, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you anticipate a split or a divorce, appoint a mediator to iron out any problems before going for the nuclear options. Mind you, Islam is not very friendly to divorce. It's the worst allowable action. It's the worst halal thing you could do. But you can do it because it's necessary in some situations. But if, la qadar the divorce does happen, the woman is to wait 3 months before remarrying or moving on. Why? Well, the first reason is if she's pregnant, you have to wait until she shows signs of pregnancy or not, so she can leave the house without being unsupported as a single mother. Another reason is if they do reconciliate, they can come back together without her having moved on, or vice versa. And God also says, basically, no takesies backsies. If a husband gives something to his wife, he can't take it back. God also says that the rights of the wives are equal to the husbands in terms of divorce in the earlier verse. So what does the hadith say about this? So the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, Allah has forgiven my followers for the evil thoughts that occur to their minds, as long as such thoughts are not put into action or uttered. So this also goes to divorce. You have to have intent of divorce, and you have to speak it out, and you have to put it into action for it to be a valid divorce. You can't just think about it and magically. That goes without saying. And another stipulation is from this hadith. Ibn Umar divorced his wife during her period, but the Prophet told him to take her back and divorce her when she was pure, as in not in menstruation, because you're not allowed to divorce a woman while she's in her period. As for the very famous hadith, whichever woman seeks divorce from her husband without cause, then the scent of paradise will be unlawful for her. Now, this is pretty famous because it's oppressing women. No, it's actually very simple. If a woman is having emotional problems in her marriage and it doesn't work out, she can divorce for that reason. If a woman is having financial problems in the marriage and the husband's not providing, she could divorce for that reason. If she's having problems with the children or the husband's family and the husband doesn't want to fix the problems, she could divorce for that reason. What this hadith means is don't divorce for no reason. You're having a happy marriage with a supportive husband or a husband that will work on his problems, but you just want a divorce to move on, to go on to the next guy. That is completely abhorrent and against human instinct, and that is what's being prohibited here, not the whole concept of divorce. There's no divorce and no manumission at the time of coercion. So again, you cannot divorce somebody under duress. If somebody puts a knife to your throat, go divorce her, and you say yeah to save your life, it's not a valid divorce. And this is from Aisha, radiallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet. She said, Allah's Messenger gave us the option to divorce, but we did not deem it as divorce. So this is again implicit and explicit divorce. So some people might take giving your wife the option of divorcing at her will, which is completely fair if you want to do that, as an implicit divorce. No, it's not, because just because she has the option doesn't mean she actually is going to go through with it. And of course, this goes to show that the Prophet of Islam, the final messenger, allowed divorce within his own household. So it's kind of preposterous to say Islam doesn't allow divorce. But here we are. So thank you for listening. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and God bless you all. Oh, here's my cursor. Wonderful.